is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Tuesday. My voice still a little shot here, but we're going to give it a go, and I appreciate you taking the time here tonight. But we know about the big win, the big trade. We're all very excited here. Got to see the Kelly Green whooping the Dolphins' ass, getting Kevin Byard here. Yes, we're all very excited. Go check out both those videos from yesterday, Victory Monday, and, of course, that trade breakdown. So you guys had a lot to say. Truly appreciate you all taking the time, and I will be live again if something else happens, and I will be making a video. Maybe I'll do it live, the trade special. I think I will do that one live. It's going to come out here the next couple of days. Wanted to try for tomorrow, but we'll see. Tomorrow is the initial injury report. We know that, so we'll have it for both teams. But tonight, we are here for Behind Enemy Lines with the Eagles' Week 8 opponent, the Washington Commanders. So we're going to break down everything. And look, I always show you, the offseason roster moves, the standings, and I got the conference standings with now, division, now that we're further in the season. And at one point, I'm going to stop showing you the roster, the offseason roster moves, but want you to know with these teams, what they've changed in case you haven't been up to date with everything going on with all of these teams. So want you to know everything about the opponent here. Of course, their stats, where that has them ranked this season, and then their roster by position, the depth chart, practice squad, coaches, all that. You're going to get a look at this entire team and what's been going on with the Eagles opponent here and talk about, for this day, you get to know the opponent. And if you're new to this channel, just want to explain this quick, but you get to know the opponent now. Then we move on tomorrow. We get the initial injury report, see what's going on with both teams. Thursday, we get the top 13 matchups and, of course, an injury update in there. Friday, the game status report, who's questionable, who's out. Fan Friday is live that night. And then, of course, Saturday, you get the practice squad elevation, updated depth charts, keep you up to date with all the roster moves. So I want you to know everything, not only about the Eagles, but their opponent as well. And let's get it started, baby. So appreciate you all taking the time, hitting that like button, subscribing, everything you're doing to support the channel. Cannot thank you enough. But let's quickly look at these all-season roster moves. We talked about this, just saw this opponent a few weeks ago. So you see in 2023, their draft got some decent-looking pieces, but some of them have definitely struggled. One being Emmanuel Forbes, who got benched. So we'll talk about that here shortly. You see their additions, their losses here, some guys that retired, one being Carson Wentz, free agent now. So, we'll just pass along there. But look, a different team here. And we beat them the first time, but definitely was a close game. And we didn't feel like it should have been so close. So let's take a look at how both of these teams are doing and where they're at since the last time they met. So the Eagles at top of the NFC East here, 6-1. Commanders in third there, 3-4. Behind the Cowboys there, and the Cowboys had a bye week, so that's why they only have 6 games there. And then, obviously, it was the Giants who lost to the Commanders, so 2-5 there. Oh, Lord. The Giants beat the Commanders, so they're 2-5, and the Commanders are now 3-4. So they just lost. They're looking to, try to not lose again to another divisional opponent. We would love to get 2 divisional wins in a row. Obviously, I have the Cowboys right after this, but do not overlook this team. And now let's take a look at where they are at in the NFC. And obviously the Eagles, number 1 there at 6-1. But the Commanders at number 10 there, 3-4. And you remember last season, we almost had all 4 teams in the playoffs. And, they were at number 7 there for a minute, almost making it in. And then they fell out. And I'm not sure exactly where they landed. But, they were almost in the playoffs, so that would have been wild, but in front of the Giants, who are in 13th there, but you can see the rest of the NFC. But Commanders, 10th in the NFC, obviously a lot of people didn't think they'd do much with Sam Howell. I think he's doing a lot better than most people would give them, we're going to give him credit for. So we'll see how they continue to do, but in this game, I'd like to see the Eagles go out and do certain things that we'll talk about throughout this week. But let's talk about the Commanders here. Take a look at their offense. And you see 20th in points, 22nd in total yardage, 19th in passing, 26th in rushing, giving up the most sacks per game here in the NFL, 5.7, throwing 1 interception per game, and total turnovers tied there for 21st. So not the greatest on offense. Definitely have had their struggles. But then, the first time we played them, they didn't throw any interceptions. So you got to play a clean game. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. No team wants to do that. So If they do that, anybody can challenge, but they've definitely had their struggles so far this season in the 7 games. Now, on defense, and you got to take all these with a grain of salt, looking at their opponents, take all the context to it, but just gives you an idea here. So seeing this defense, this is crazy because they're worse than the first time we saw them. Points, they're 29th in yards given up. That's 28th against the pass, 22nd against the run, 7th in sacks, though, and tied for 13th in turnovers, middle of the pack there with interceptions per game. So, look, they've got some playmakers here. They've had a couple of injuries, but this isn't the same Washington defense where you could usually rely on saying, oh, well, their offense isn't that great, but, that defense, it's not. And look, they do have some star power, and we're going to look at it here. Don't get me wrong, especially on that D-line. But, I'm just saying it's just they've had their struggles. And you heard Jonathan Allen's frustrations this week. So we're going to take a look at this team, get to know what they look like, and a couple of changes since the last time we saw them. So I'll try to breeze by this for you. But let's take a look by position here. After we look at the coaching staff, Rivera, you see Bieniemy there as offensive coordinator, Del Rio at DC, and then Nate Kazor at special teams coordinator. So you and I have talked about this. Riverboat Ron, he's definitely having his struggles on the hot seat here. We'll see how long he lasts if Bieniemy is the one to take over. But in that first game, we talked about Sam Howell. We talked about how, he didn't throw a single interception in that game. He threw for 290 yards, a touchdown. I didn't like exactly seeing him. And look, it's a bend, don't break kind of defense. We talked about injuries and things. I think, a lot of people got carried away with the stats. But he's got 1,700 yards this season. He's got 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's doing all right, man. I think he's doing better than most people thought he would. So we're going to see if the Eagles can get after him. We sacked him 5 times last game. Nicholas Morrow with 3 sacks there last time we played him. So Hal with the backup, Brissett there from on the practice squad. You'll see anybody on the practice squad and IR at the bottom of these positions. Now at running back, Brian Robinson, he didn't have a great game against us, not having the greatest season, averaging 3.8 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns on the season. But the first time we played him, he only had 45 yards, 3.2 yards per carry, but he did get a touchdown. They've got Gibson. He's a playmaker there. So, when him, ball in his hands, he can make plays. We'll see if he gets the opportunity. Rodriguez was out last time we played them. And then practice squad, Arma and Gore. I apologize. My voice is still shot for being at the game. But let's keep it moving. Eagles are number 1 against the run. Just shut down the run, make them one-dimensional. We've talked about it a million times, and I'll break this game down. This is not really a breakdown, but I will try to throw my 2 cents in. Now, wide receivers, Terry McLaurin had 8 catches, 86 yards. Samuel had 7 for 51. Dotson actually had 4 for 27 and a touchdown. He's not doing the greatest this season, but he did get a touchdown in that game. They've got a deep, some depth there, but nothing, crazy past the top 3. But the top 3 are very talented. So going to be a good matchup. We'll talk about this all during the top matchups, how these guys are individually doing this season and all that great stuff. But always try to touch upon, a few things here. But McLaurin, 432 yards on the season, only 1 touchdown. Samuel's got 2. Dodson has that 1 touchdown. That was his only of the season. So, look, they're talented wide receivers, though. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. It's a divisional matchup. They're going to be pissed. Let's go kick their ass. And we're going to go in there. I think, we can go into Washington. Just be safe in that stadium because we all know it's falling apart. Now, Logan Thomas, he's got 236 yards on the season, 2 touchdowns. He was banged up there for a game, so he missed one. But he's back in action after that cheap shot concussion he had. And he's a very talented dude. Last time we played him, a lot of people worried about what he would do. And we talked about it, how would we be able to stop these tight ends? And I think we've done pretty well so far. And Logan Thomas had 3 catches for 41 yards. So need to continue to shut these guys down. Then Bates, Turner, Hodges, you ain't got to worry about that. Hodges probably won't even play. Now, moving along here, the offensive line. They did have a injury here in the last game. Sadiq Charles, he had a calf injury, did not return, and it sounds like he's probably going to miss this game. So maybe Ricky Stromberg, the rookie, steps in there. We'll see. But they've got some guys banged up. Braden Daniels there on IR. And then in the practice squad, you see Akinbulu, Brooks, and Jones Smith. So maybe they elevate one of those guys if Charles gets placed on IR or something happens. Maybe they sign someone. We'll see. But I will keep you up to date with all of that. But that's what their offensive line looks like there. And not doing the greatest this year, giving up the most sacks and not doing great in the run or pass. But we'll break that down throughout the week. Now, on to the defense here. You can see, and now this is the bread and butter of the Commanders. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, monsters. Ife Boda is off of IR now, but still got a few guys. Darian Mathis, Brooks, and Bada are there, but they've got a couple practice squad and Potato, sure, Anderson. Just kidding. But, these two are monsters. Jonathan Allen had a sack the last time we played him, and we always know this dude is a beast, and he's coming for you. He or Payne, they are monsters, and that's going to be a great matchup to break down this week. Always is with those guys. So, yeah, watch out for them. Now, edge rushers, Chase Young back in action, and he was back when we played him last time, and he had a sack in that game too. So, talented edge rushers here, Sweat and Young, and we've had our issues giving up sacks, but I think we've worked on some things. Ex-Eagle, Casey Toohill there, and some depth pieces, but got to be able to shut these guys down. And we did give up a couple sacks that first game, but I think it was only those, 3, because Cameron Curl had one as well. So, yeah, they had 3 sacks, but I think just keep improving as a team. This Eagles team will be all right, but they've got some talent on that defensive line when it comes to the interior guys and the edge rushers. Now, at linebacker, Cody Barton was banged up, and that's a key piece there. The middle linebacker, you never want to lose someone like that, but it's good to have a veteran piece here in David Mayo, and he's been on this team before. He's been with the Giants, but Barton messed up his ankle, and it sounds like he might miss this game. So it could be David Mayo and Cody Barton there. They got Jabril Cox on the practice squad. You see Hudson Harris as the other depth pieces. But that could be a weak spot for him. Dallas Goedert needs to go out there and feast. And he's been getting his. We all do know that. But Barton, he had 9 tackles total last game, so that was second on the team. He's a piece they would definitely miss here. So you don't want to see that. And Goddard, the last game, only had like 2 catches, 25 yards. So maybe we get him going here. Jamin Davis, an athletic guy, but maybe take advantage of he and Mayo. Now at cornerback, they benched Emmanuel Forbes, who he was crying. A.J. Brown had him in tears. That's how bad it was. And my Lord, that was rough. So AJ went off, dude, for 9 catches, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devontae had 7 catches, 78 yards. So, my Lord, that dude had his struggles. So he gets benched. Danny Johnson comes in. St. Juice goes outside. Now Johnson at nickel. So moved a few things around there, and you'll see it on the depth chart coming up here. But, this secondary, better watch out. Now, we talked about Curl getting a sack. He's a talented guy. He and Forrest together in that pass game. We talked about a good duo there, but Forrest now on IR with Jeremy Reeves. They have Chandler and Kalu, and some former guys we all know, Giants and things like that. So Percy Butler, the young man, second-year player, gets to step in as a starter. And Terrell Burgess, who was on the practice squad last time we played him, now steps in as a guy on the active roster. So a couple things changed here with this team. Nothing changed for the specialist here. Still got Slyway and Cheeseman, and then Gibson as the kick returner and Crowder as the punt returner. Now I'm going to show you all of that stuff. You're going to see the practice squad as a whole. So 8 guys on offense. They have 8 guys on defense. You saw them by position, but I want you just to see the full list as a whole. Those are the guys in alphabetical order. So that is the practice squad. Now this is the reserves list. These are all the guys you saw at the bottom on IR. So Apke, Bada, Brooks, Daniels, Forrest, Mathis, Milne, Reeves, Rogers, all on IR. So you will not see them on this depth chart if you're looking for them. Anyone in yellow is new to the team this season. So let's take a look at this offense. And look, as I said, Sadiq Charles might be out here. So rookie Ricky Stromberg might have to step in there. That would be the only difference since the last time we played them. Let's go in there, take advantage of this line, shut down those receivers, try to do our thing here. Bend, don't break, but let's not give up too much to Sam Howell. And let's get some interceptions in this game. Then on the defense, you see I talked about Cody Barton. Now tomorrow, again, the initial injury report will be out. So I will have all that with updates, and if they're out, whatever, I will take them out of this depth chart. You will see the updated depth chart with all of those shows. But other than that, you see, as I mentioned, nickel corner now, Danny Johnson with St. Juice outside. Forbes benched. Jartavius Martin, he had an injury. There was a couple guys, a concussion, but he came back. He was cleared, so it wasn't anything serious. And then I think that was it. But tomorrow, again, I will have all those injuries. Fuller was banged up a little last week, but he played, so nothing there. But other than that, if there's anything else, I'll give it to you tomorrow around 4 or 5. We'll see when they put their injury report out, but I'll post the Eagles one. Then we'll have a video talking about both of them, looking at the updates or whatever we need. But the special teams, nothing changed there that we talked about from last time. So that is the Washington Commanders, the Philadelphia Eagles Week 8 opponent. But that's all I've got for you tonight. If you got anything from this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. I would love to hear your thoughts below down in the comments. You can always subscribe. But I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic night. Wanted to try to get this done and put out before the Phillies game started. So hopefully you get to watch this in time before the game starts. Give you some good juju. Got my dad's old Chase Utley shirt on. Been rocking this bad boy throughout the playoffs. Ready to go to the World Series, baby. Let's go. But I appreciate you all taking the time here. Hope you're having a great week. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith. And this is On the Road to Victory. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out, whether it's about the Eagles, life, anything. Always here for you as you are for me. But I hope you have a good one. Stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me at home, kids. Go Birds!